All right, guys, thanks for tuning back into Middle Class Reactions. I know last week I said I was going to be um, getting back on my normal posting schedule, but life has happened very fast for me. I'm moving back down to Texas. I just got engaged yesterday, so a lot of life's happening. Posting will be sporadic the next month, but I'll be posting as I can. So thanks for staying with me, guys. Okay, so there's a lot that's happened, and I'm gonna try to get 3 or 4 videos out today, specifically because I got some free time. One of the most scary to me is this whole National Guard going to DC and this crime crackdown in DC thing that's happening. Um, this makes me nervous. We're going to see what's being reported on it. This was posted, I think, 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago. Let's see. This was posted 3 hours ago. And then we're gonna talk about it.
Don't be shy. Immigrants here, DHS is here, ICE is here. They're headed to the wharf now.
Don't you have counterfeiters to catch?
This lady's walk just pisses me off. Like that, she's already pissed me off.
These are not real police. They are kidnapping people. These are not real police. None of these are real police. These are Al-Qaeda gravy seals with fake-ass Timu costumes. Go left! Go left! Go left! Go left!
Hey, still got time to do this, and I'm f***ing fed. All streets! Got yours!
Tensions soared in Washington, D.C. as U.S. President Donald Trump escalated his crackdown on crime with federal intervention. Trump invoked emergency powers earlier this week to place the city's police department temporarily under federal control. He also deployed 800 National Guard troops, claiming the city had become one of the most dangerous anywhere in the world. Federal and local agents set up a checkpoint Wednesday night along 14th Street Northwest, drawing protests from locals. The checkpoint involved more than 20 officers from D.C. Police, Homeland Security Investigations, and ICE enforcement units. Drivers were stopped for minor violations, like seatbelt infractions or broken tail lights as part of the operation. As a result, protests erupted with more than 100 people gathered.
All right, guys. So a few things I just want to go over here already. So I just looked up on ChatGPT, so take that for what it is. And all I asked was, what emergency powers did Trump enact during his recent crime crackdown in DC? So it looks like he enacted Section 740 of the DC Home Rule Act. And here's what ChatGPT says about it. A never used provision that authorizes the president to take temporary control of DC police during emergencies. He notified Congress as required within 48 hours, enabling an extension of federal control for up to 30 days. However, any continuation beyond that period would require congressional approval, which is unlikely due to Democratic opposition. Okay, so that is what the good old ChatGPT says, so take that for what it is. On one hand, I am a fan of the Capitol being cleaned up and the Capitol getting crime in control in the Capitol. Whoa. There we go. And so I like that aspect of it. Oh, my camera's being screwy. There we go. Okay. And then I'm a fan of the crime crackdown. What worries me is deploying 800 National Guard when there's no active, like in LA during the riots and stuff. It made sense because you're protecting federal buildings during these riots. Like, okay, I can get that. I can understand that. But to just enact 800 National Guard, as well as, to be fair, they are bringing in FBI, DEA, HSI, which is Homeland Security Investigations. I think I've seen videos of some ATF going around, which screw the ATF. They can disappear. So I go back and forth on it. I can say not even Biden enacted the National Guard for many things. I think maybe I don't know if Biden actually enacted them during BLM riots. I think it was the states, but I could be wrong on that. But for Trump to, one, enact the National Guard, and two, take control of the DC Police Department, what I'm afraid of is this is going to open a can of worms that we're not going to be able to close back. Because, and guys, what y'all need to remember is anything that sets the precedent, so this is the first time this has happened. Anything that sets the precedent for it, it'll happen again. So now that this has happened and Trump's done this, the next president, being a Democrat or if God forbid we get a socialist or a communist or some kind of crazy, like that New York mayor dude, or who looks like he's about to be the mayor, they can use this stuff for things you're not going to agree with. So we need to be careful about the road that we go down here, because we're teeter-tottering some lines here of things that are going to get really dangerous. But let's keep watching.
Shouting at officers and holding signs warning drivers about ICE presence ahead. Demonstrators chanted phrases like, "Get off our streets," and "You are the criminals," showing strong anger at federal intervention. At least one person was handcuffed and taken away, though the crowd remained largely peaceful throughout the 2-hour protests. Some federal agents wore masks and vests identifying them as ICE or HSI personnel, prompting calls from protesters to remove them. Footage also captured officers towing vehicles, while others held placards warning drivers about ICE presence ahead. This comes as Trump has suggested he may ask Congress to extend federal control over DC's police beyond the current 30-day limit. He said Republicans would support the move to curb crime, while he expects Democrats will not act to intervene. Federal agents, police, and FBI personnel were seen patrolling in multiple neighborhoods, increasing the visible law enforcement presence. The takeover mirrors tactics Trump used in Los Angeles, deploying thousands of Guard troops and Marines during immigration raids. DC Police Chief Pamela Smith said the federalization is collaborative, with her department still accountable to Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Don't respect your neighbors. It's not illegal to be a human being. It's not illegal to say about random citizens. It's not a crime. And now it's illegal. We got FBI and ICE headed towards the wharf now. ICE is here. Jesus is here.
So President Trump has vowed to make D.C. safe and beautiful again. And as part of his effort to fight crime, he's bringing in our federal law enforcement partners like FBI, ATF, DEA, or Park Police, everybody to help the Metropolitan PD fight crime. And the president's message to the criminals was, if you spit, we hit. Well, we didn't quite do that the other night when an individual went up to one of the federal law enforcement officers and started jumping up and down, screaming at him, berating him, yelling at him. And then he took a Subway sandwich about this big and took it and threw it at the officer. He thought it was funny. Well, he doesn't think it's funny today because we charged him with a felony, assault on a police officer, and we're going to back the police to the hilt. So
Okay, guys. See, something like that, like I'm a very, very big police supporter. I work with police on a daily basis. Because of my job, like no issues with police. But charging the old boy with a felony because he threw a sandwich at you, like that's a little. By the letter of the law, technically, is that assault on a police officer? Yes. But really, like that's really what we're gonna do? We're giving a guy a felony. We're going to charge a guy with a felony. Throwing a sandwich at you. I don't know, guys. I don't like it.
There, stick your Subway sandwich somewhere else.
We're doing that and doing some other things, and we're going to also fix up a place called Washington, D.C. We're going to make it so beautiful again. Free area. This is going to be a crime-free area, by the way. You'll be able to go out. People tell me they can't run anymore. They're just afraid. And they'll be running again. We're going to have a crime-free. It's a big statement because if one thing happens all year, Pam, you better be good, because they'll say Trump did not fulfill his. One person gets a little injured by somebody, they'll say Trump did not fulfill his promise. No, we're going to be essentially crime-free. This is going to be a beacon, and it's going to also serve as an example of what can be done. We have to get rid of this cashless bail nonsense. If you look at New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, which is so badly run. Los Angeles, they can't get the houses. They can't get the people their permits to build their houses. They're trying to rebuild their houses from the ridiculous fire that should have never allowed to have taken place. They should have had the water coming down from the Pacific Northwest, but they didn't do that. But they can't get the permits for the people that want to build their houses. But I want to thank Lee Zeldin, because the federal government has gotten all of their permits, which are much more difficult permits, actually, and had them literally within 30 days after the.
Okay, guys. I'm not a fan. I gotta say, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the big one that's bugging me is deploying the 800 National Guard. That's what bugs me. If you want to take over, well, that and taking over the DC police for 30 days. If you want to flood the streets of DC with FBI and Homeland and, all the State Patrol and all those other agencies, rock on. That's what they're here for. They're police. Rock on. Party on. Deploying the National Guard and taking over the DC police under presidential control or under federal control, that scares me. I don't like that. And here's another thing we need to remember, guys. God forbid one of these guys get killed in some shooting of some flavor. Some gang drive-by or whatever. God forbid a National Guardsman get killed. Or they get in a gunfight and the National Guard kill somebody. All hell will break loose. I don't know what that looks. I mean, at minimum it'll be riots and cities are going to burn down again, just like they did during BLM. God forbid a National Guardsman get killed. The response from the government will be insane. So we need to tread carefully here. And I guess we're going to see what happens. But thanks for tuning in today, guys. Again, sorry that the my video uploading hadn't been as consistent as I usually am. It'll resume probably towards middle of September, so about a month. About a month, I'll be regular again on uploading. So stick with me. I appreciate it. Love you guys. Like, share, subscribe, do all the stuff you know you need to. I'll catch y'all later.